Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. If you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new, I hope you consider subscribing by the end of this video. And if you just recently subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. My gosh, the squad is growing and I'm here for it. Hope you're here for it too. So anyway, today I am going to be reacting to an audio called Edification, the Key to a Big Business. And I'm redoing this filming because the first time I did it, I didn't realize until I was in the editing stage that I missed so much because it was so hard to dig deep underneath the, subliminal messaging of what this audio was saying. So I had initially reacted to it and had only picked out still a pretty good reaction, don't get me wrong, but I was editing and I'm like, girl, how did you miss that? So even in an anti-MLM, even in a very critical thinking state, I still missed some of the manipulation until I was in the guts, figuring out what I wanted to say in this video. So we're going to do it again. And I'm going to play with makeup. I got nowhere to be today, so it's probably going to be a weird makeup look because I just like to play. So I'm playing this at 1.25 speed.
When we, committed our business to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we said that anytime we got this microphone and stood on stage, and we would give Him the praise and glory and honor for everything we've accomplished and the ability to come up here and talk to y'all. And that's just us. That's our story. That's us. I'm not, you be who you are.
Jesus does not care about your multi-level marketing company. I don't think Jesus wanted to bless that specifically. I think Jesus has other priorities. That's my personal opinion. I think Jesus has other priorities. With world hunger and poverty and people suffering.
I was just sitting there watching all the videos and listening to all the speakers and just seeing all the cool stuff that's been done. And we have lived a lifetime of most people's vacations in the last 3 months. Just the places we've been and things we've done. Just, of course, we left our winter conference and immediately went into Yellowstone National Forest in Montana, and you saw the snowmobile video. That was one day after a winter conference. We get home from that, we were home, 2 days? I think 2 days, we hop on a plane and we go to Hawaii for 10 days. We get back from Hawaii and we went somewhere. We went to Florida for Winter's Leadership Team trip. That was another 5-day trip. And in between there, I squeezed a week in there to go to a national motocross race in Texas with my sons. And we were there for a week. And then we get back from there, and I think we got back, and the next day left for Peter Island for 8 days. And in the meantime, we've gone to several different motocross races and trips and things. And so just in about 2.5 to 3 months, we've done more things than most people will do in a 10-year period of time. But the thing is, guys, it doesn't stop. It's the rest of the year we've got things to do. You just don't understand. If I could convey to you what freedom was like, every one of you would work way harder. Okay, not saying that you're not.
Yeah, I don't think your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ blessed your business so that you could live your life on vacation and not really help anybody, not really do anything, just scam people out of their money so that you can live your life on vacation. I guess I've been realizing over these past few audios that how many times they use religion as a reference, or they'll just throw that in. And it just makes you feel like you're a part of something bigger, you're a part of a bigger purpose, and you're doing something good for the world because they throw that religious aspect in there. And then when you actually listen to the audios, it's like, you were doing a damn thing for Jesus. And you think that your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was blessing your business because of that? I think you were misinformed, sir.
Probably the number one thing that I noticed about these people in this business, I found out the first open meeting we went to is that these people were positive. This group was totally different than anybody that I've been around before, and it was just a group of positive people. And, I look at myself when I came into this business and I was not positive at all. And the reason why I wasn't positive is because I didn't like who I was, much less, because I couldn't find anything good in myself. I couldn't find anything good in anybody else or anything else. And so,
That's a really good point, Michelle. Thank you for bringing that up. So a lot of people who get in business and who are attracted to this environment, they're attracted to it because of the positivity, because of how good they feel when they're around people in a multi-level marketing company. Because a lot of their recruitment tactics, and I've kind of talked about this a little bit. I think I need to do another video about it. But with their recruitment tactics, they find your weakness and exploit it. They find what it is that you want out of life, or what it is that you're lacking in yourself, and then show you how you can get that with this business. So for myself, for example, I had just left college. I was really directionless, and I felt really bad about myself and had a lot of depression and stuff. And so they used that and preyed on me, gave me a book called The Greatest Miracle in the World, which didn't talk about business at all, but talked about how valuable you are, how much of a miracle you are that you're on this earth, and how much your life is worth living. And so they use those personal vulnerabilities to build rapport, but also build that emotional attachment, and even emotional dependency on that feedback, that then you're like, oh my gosh, these people are so amazing. So yeah, that is a very astute observation, ma'am, that yeah, when you get into the business, you're often in a negative mind space. You're in kind of a darker time, or you are in a low point in life, because that's where they got you. They got you, they recruited you when you were feeling vulnerable.
I came into this business with a very poor self-image, not liking myself. I was very shy and introvert, and I didn't really want to get to know anybody. I didn't want anybody to get to know me, because I didn't think that they'd like me if they really got to know me. And, it was just this poor self-image that I had. I was afraid that people weren't going to like me. And so, coming into this business, I saw these people so positive, and I'm like, gosh, how do I get positive? How do I change myself? And, I had to let the system work on me. I had to, listen to the CDs and read the books and attend the functions so that I could start to fall in love with myself and have a good self-image, so therefore I could love other people and see positive in other people. And just by listening to the CDs and hearing the stories of other people, I started to realize that, hey, maybe I did have some good qualities, because I started to see some of the things in myself that I heard people talk about on tapes, maybe some of the things that they've overcome and help them, achieve in this business. I realized that I had those same qualities. I just had to bring those good qualities out in myself. And so I did start to get a good self-image, and it was just a matter of letting the system work on me. No one really came down and told me, you have to change this, you have to change that. I more or less kind of seeked it out myself through the system, and I became a more positive person. Therefore, I could seek the positive in other people, see what other people were doing that were so good, some of the good decisions that they were making. And I realized in this business that we are coaches and we're mentors to the people in our group and the people coming into this business. And, in order to coach someone or to mentor someone in this business, you really have to find the good things that they're doing and bring those things out.
So just wanted to mention, so that it is said and verbalized on this channel, that I react to the LTD, Leadership Team Development audios, and so when she's talking about the system, it's Leadership Team Development's educational system. Their books, their audios, all of that. And their books are books that you can get at Barnes & Noble. They're books like Master Key to Riches. This kind of information that the education system provides is open to the general public, and you don't need to join an MLM in order to get the same kind of information and coaching and teaching and self-help that you could get from these books.
I try to find if someone is starting to dress a little sharper, or maybe they placed their first ditto order or something like that. I may edify that person in front of a group of people to make them feel good about themselves and the decisions that they're making. And not only makes that person feel good, but it also gives some of the other people something to shoot for. And so, we always try to look for the good that's going on in the organization and just in people, and start noticing people. And, people start to feel better about themselves. And you have to realize that you can do this business. You know, you may not be doing every single thing right, but this business is all a process. It's a step-by-step process, and as long as you're doing, you know, what you can do and doing the best that you can do, you know, you're going to make it in this business. You just have to keep achieving and keep moving forward.
This audio starts off really mild. I mean, she's talking about encouraging other people, making them feel good about themselves, making them feel capable of accomplishing their goals and all of this. And, you know, basically verbally rewarding them in front of a group of people and making them feel proud of their accomplishments, and that giving that positive affirmation, positive reinforcement of the good decisions that they're making. All of this sounds normal and natural, even for like an organization or group setting. If you want to encourage something, you know, if you want something to continue, you verbally acknowledge that this is something that's good. It's the same thing with like parenting, you know. It's a lot easier to get compliance from a child when you see one good thing from them and you want to encourage that, you want to bring that out. Or in a classroom setting, I did some teaching over a couple of summers for like a summer school, teaching for an inner city school program. And in my classroom, you know, if there was something that I wanted to affirm in a child and continue that behavior and encourage other kids to do that same thing, you know, you call them out on it and you say, oh my gosh, like such a good job. Thank you so much for following that instruction to a T, or like doing that, or, you know, obeying immediately, whatever you do, you just want to encourage that. Or if there's someone in really rough shape, like if there's a student in real rough shape and it's really hard to get them to pay attention or focus or, you know, mind or whatever, you find the one good thing that they're doing and encourage that and say, oh my gosh, you're being such a good leader by, you know, doing that so well. And they feel proud of themselves and they want to continue doing that. That's a normal human behavior influence kind of thing. It's just, we'll see how that gets a little bit more insidious. I don't know if that's the word, but it just gets a little bit more manipulative as you go through your multi-level marketing phases. And we've talked about more obvious abuses in Amway LTD. We've talked about the financial manipulation, the fact that my upline was budgeting my money for me to the point where I only had $30 a month of discretionary spending. We've talked about the religious manipulation. We've talked about how, you know, I chose not to go back to college on the advice of my upline. You know, everywhere, from where I live currently to, you know, the car that I drive or the job that I worked, or, you know, the friends that I had or didn't have, the family that I associated with or didn't associate with, all of that came down to the advice of my upline. So this is so mild that you don't realize that this is just part of how they program you to become, you know, a cult member and actually just follow everything that they say and get addicted to that affirmation, to that, you know, positive reinforcement. And you become trained like an animal in this business. And it starts with this kind of stuff. It's, as I'm saying it, it sounds super like, you know, tinfoil hat, like conspiracy, but it's just, this is how it plays out. It's just how it plays out. That's how people get caught up in this for years and then finally reach a breaking point and then have years of healing to do afterward.
I found that one of the keys to why this Coliseum is filled is because of a thing that Larry Winters understands, and other people, but particularly so Larry Payne understands. The word's called edification. It's called, you know what it really is? It's called finding the good in people. I heard once a billionaire say, they asked me, how'd you become a billionaire? He said, I'm just a cheerleader for other people. And that sounds so simple, okay? But in today's society, if you think about it, how many people are really trying to find the good in people? I mean, typically you walk into a room and you see somebody, and the first thing you do is you start to try to figure out what's wrong, okay? You look at their hair, you look at this, you look at that, and there could be 5 things right, but isn't it funny how you'll pick out the blemish on the cheek? You tend to see that the 1 or 2, why? Because society kind of trains you that way. They train you in being a little bit critical and a little bit trying to find that. because nothing can be that good, okay?
Okay, I think that's a drastic overstatement, saying that society trains you to be pessimistic, to be critical and find the fault in other people. Society doesn't train you to do anything. And what even is society? That's my question, is like, what do you define as society? Because a lot of these people were churchgoers before they joined this business in particular. A lot of people, go to school or like volunteer or do positive things. I think positivity is generally accepted. Like, you see the term good vibes on like every Target throw pillow, and you know what I mean? Like, positivity is everywhere. So I don't know where he's getting this concept where society trains you to find fault with others, and that, where else do you hear other people saying good things about other people? Are you kidding me? I think that's just a straight out bold-faced lie, sir, to say that society trains people to be negative. I mean, in comparison to the toxic positivity, the actual like denial of reality that Amway LTD promotes, with like never saying anything bad about what you're currently going through, never talking about negative circumstances in your life, always being positive, well, then yeah, you enter into this, utopian like dreamland of people always only talking about good things. And you think, wow, yeah, society is so negative. No, society is real. They live in the real life. They work jobs because that's how you earn money, honestly. Or they own businesses. And they do things that actually aren't a pyramid scheme scamming other people. So yeah, society is just real. They deal with real life issues rather than sweeping them under the rug and just speaking positively so that they could manifest and go away. It's just, yeah, society is actually the real world. And it's not that it's particularly negative or finding fault always. It's just acknowledging reality. That's what it is, sir.
Okay. My answer to you is, why not? Why can't it be? I hear that sometimes from prospects. It can't be that good. There's got to be the downside. Why does there have to be a downside? There only has to be a downside if you think there has to be a downside. This can be Camelot for you if you want it to be. This can be a positive thing for you if you want it to be.
I love that he uses the word Camelot, because that is so cult-like. This could be Camelot. This could be utopia for you. This could be where all your dreams come true and nothing bad ever happens to you ever again. You just have to follow me, follow our teaching. Why does there have to be a downside? Why does anyone ever have to lose? Sir, you're in a multi-level marketing company. You are in a pyramid scheme. It was him. It was this speaker. It was Alan Leininger, my upline diamond, who we reacted to earlier, who said, you don't have to make volume, you just order it. Just give me your credit card and I'll order your volume for you so that you can match your your PV goals for the month. Just order it. Sir, snap out of it. Snap out of your delusion. This can be Camelot for you. Okay, cult leader. Thank you, Jim Jones.
This can be a trouble-free, fun business if you really want it to. Isn't it really your choice whether it is or isn't? And you make this. So we've decided to make this thing fun. We've decided to make this thing positive. Okay. You know what? I've never heard guys talk about their wife. Bringing their wife. Oh, let me bring my bride. I'm so proud of her. She does this. She does that. I never heard that at the office. You know what I heard? Hey, what are you and the old lady doing this weekend? The old lady. I mean, number one, who wants to be married to that? Okay. And guys talk about their wives that way, or what's even worse is, they'll talk good about wives, just not theirs. You with me? And that's what I heard at the office, and here's what I realized, if that's the way they're talking, that's the way the guys are talking around me about the ladies there, then that's what they're talking about my wife at IBM. And so that's one of the reasons that motivated me to want to get them out. It was so different.
I think he just had maybe a toxic work life or something before joining the business, and this is his impression of what all of life is. to say that all of society and the people at the office are not talking well of their wives or speaking well of someone else's wife, yeah, I think that's just, maybe that's his impression of society. Maybe that has been his experience. I'm not trying to say that he's making that up. Although, I do want to point out that this is yet again another thing that he uses to draw an us versus them. And that, if you look on the BITE model, which is like defining what a cult is, when you find more and more distinctions between the organization and society, the rest of society, that's like, oh, you know, all of them out there in the world, you'll never find positivity. But here, where it's safe, where your wife is appreciated but not overly appreciated by other men, and all of this, it's like, yeah, you're painting a picture where this is the only safe place. This is the only place where you can, you know, have positivity in your life. So this is something that I wanted to draw attention to, as well as, like, listen, sir, this is not everybody's experience. I know plenty of people who are very happily married and not in multi-level marketing companies. And if you're trying to paint a picture of reality, that if you're not in this Amway multi-level marketing business, you know, Amway LTD specific, then your marriage isn't happy, your family isn't happy, you're not financially and emotionally fulfilled at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, you're incorrect, sir.
Different. I heard people on stage talking about, hey, you know, I love you, honey, you know, and hand her the microphone. I'm going, wow, that's really different. Okay? And if you're new here tonight, that was probably really different for you too. People talking good. I haven't heard anybody get up on this stage and say, let me tell you about this jerk sitting over here. That guy's a real, you know, have you heard any of that? No. And why? Well, that's because you guys have to all talk good about each other to make us go do our volume so you guys make money, right? Okay? I don't think so. It's because we've learned to find the good in people. And like Michelle said, you've got to fall in love with yourself before you can fall in love with somebody else.
Again, he's saying, like, this is such a rare thing that if you get up on stage and you say a good thing about someone and no one has said, oh, like, look at this jerk over here. You don't see that in a corporate setting either. If you went to, like, a corporate, you know, rewards or award ceremony or something, if you went to, like, a company recognition ceremony, they're going to be saying good things about the coworkers. They're going to be celebrating people. This is not specific to Amway LTD. It's just not. It's just kind of weird that he's saying all of this about how, oh, you know, you won't hear anybody say anything negative, and we've just learned. Yeah, you think it might just be because we're trying to get you to do your volume. Yeah, that is what it is. That might not be the entire reason why you do it, because, yeah, you're a normal human being who doesn't just call somebody up on stage and roast them for no reason, especially in the context of a business conference. That would never happen. But also, yeah, you are trying to get them to do their volume. You are trying to motivate them to get up on stage, and you can be here too. You know, if you knew what freedom really looked like, you would work way harder than you are. And yeah, you're trying to get them to either purchase more volume or recruit more people to purchase more volume. That's how you run your business, sir. So, yeah, this isn't just like, oh, we're just so virtuous and we like talking well about other people. That might be an element to it. But this is not specific or unique to Amway LTD. People are just decent and know how to find good in other people. You don't have to be in this business, specifically within this leadership team development organization, to be a good finder.
And you know what? I didn't understand what edification was for back then. I thought it was for me to, whoo, man, I'm getting talked about. This is good stuff. And you know what? Where else do people talk good about you? I mean, come on. This is a breeding ground for pride and ego if you really want to think about it. Because where else in the world do people get you up on stage and say, man, congratulations, you did this, you do that, it's your open meetings, good stuff, and at night let me bring up Bobby, man, Bobby just made his first contacts, man, that's good stuff, Bobby just made a phone call, woohoo, high five, and you've never got that kind of recognition in your life before?
Lie. My parents, my friends, my church, my YouTube channel, my clients. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm not called up on stage because I'm not a part of some organization that does like large events like this. But if you're trying to say that this is the only place where you get affirmation, this is the only place where you get, positively affirmed. And the thing is that it's not even genuine. It's not even genuinely finding the good in people just for the sake of finding the good in people. This whole audio and the title of it says it itself, Edification, the key to a big business. The reason why they edify people is not because they just want to find good in others. They just want to do good by others. They're edifying people for a specific purpose. And that purpose is to get them to do more of what they're already doing. It is to grow the business. It's to grow their own agenda. That is why they are edifying people. So, yeah, not only do you find affirmation and good things about you elsewhere, but you also, if you find affirmation within this business group, it's because they want you to have that emotional connection to them. They want to positively affirm and reinforce what you're doing so that you do more of it, so it grows their business. There's a hidden agenda with the affirmation that you receive in this business.
You know what the edification is for? The edifications, yes, yeah, we're proud of you. We want to make you feel good. But here's what you do with the edification. Okay, you realize the reason you're being edified is because you're doing something that the upline wants the rest of the people to do too. So you're playing a part of the role of the building of the team.
So I spoke too soon. He actually acknowledges it himself, that the reason why he affirms other people is because he wants to grow the business. And the edification is not actually, we want to make you feel good about yourself, but we want that to continue. It wants to be a culture. We want it to be a trend, that people are talking good about other people for the good things that they're doing in business, the good things that they're doing in business to build the business in terms of purchasing their own products and recruiting other people. Great. So he said it himself. That's the reason why they really edify other people. So it's really not specifically, and I know that there's going to be some people who are in Amway going down in the comments and saying, well, you're just taking his words out of context, which first of all, it's not. I'm playing this whole audio because the title of it is Edification, the Key to a Big Business. So I'm going to play the parts that is relevant to this. And so, like, in the title, in the whole audio, it's very evident that this is why they use edification. Do I think that Alan and Michelle Leiniger don't, enjoy making other people feel good about themselves? No, I don't think that that's the only reason why. I think that they genuinely feel like they're good people. I feel like they genuinely feel like they are serving God. That they're genuinely called to do this. I believe that they are 100% aligned with what they believe. I just think that what they believe is wrong and manipulative. I think that this particular use of building other people who are, at their floor, who are at their most vulnerable, they have hit rock bottom, to build them up so that you can get them to do more for your business and for your financial interests is wrong. That is what I believe. And it might make the person who's being built up feel better, but I think you could just do that to be a good person, and you don't have to have a hidden financial agenda that is self-serving behind the good things you say about other people.
I just want to kind of keep it at the basic level for a new guy that's got maybe a new 1,000 PV group, and he's trying to figure out how to go 2,500. Yeah, you need to show more plans. Yeah, you need to look at the guy and go, hey, you ready to get started? Okay, let me show you how simple it is. Yeah, all that stuff's wonderful, okay? But you know what? You can do that all you want, but if you're not finding the good in the people that you're bringing on board, they may not stay on board. And how many of y'all want to keep putting people, hey, do you want to be really good at putting them in and putting them in and putting them in and having to keep putting them in? Or do you want to get good at putting them in and keeping them in and putting them in and keeping them in and putting them in and keeping them in like Larry and Pam have done? You don't become a multi-millionaire by doing a lot of work over and over and over and over and over and over again. You become a multi-millionaire by doing the right kind of work. And as you're doing it, you gel it, you lock it in, you glue this thing together with love and respect and edification. Y'all with me? And
see, that sentence, you glue this thing together with love, respect, and edification. It sounds so good. It sounds so juicy and warm and loving. But that is so sinister. If you look at the reality of the MLM, Amway MLM business, and this is the entire company of Amway, you see that there are plenty of people on the bottom losing money / not making money. And you have only a few, like the top few percent, and that's being generous, making money at the top of the pyramid. So when you are gluing them in, when you're securing them into your downline, knowing that the majority of your downline is not making money, to glue them in and get them stabilized staying in the business for a long period of time so that you don't have to go out and recruit other people, but you can just keep the same people in the business doing their volume, purchasing their own products. To know that the reason why they are staying in is not because they're actually making money or actually building their business, but the reason why the majority of the people are staying in is because of the emotional attachment and the emotional dependence that they've built on the affirmation and positive reinforcement is just sinister. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. And the thing is that maybe he hasn't articulated it in his mind. Maybe I'm feeling generous today in giving these Amway diamonds the benefit of the doubt that they really do believe that what they're doing is correct and what they're doing is moral and right and actually helping. But if you break down just the statistics of it, if you just break down the numbers and then apply what he is saying to the reality of the numbers of the pyramid, the majority of the people who are in these Amway businesses stay in for a longer period of time because of the emotional attachment and because of that vulnerability that they were initially preyed on. That is what is keeping them in because of the things that they've said about them, because of the positive feelings that they've gotten from their upline. It's so manipulative and exploitative and just wrong. It's just wrong.
I've learned if you always build a bigger team, okay, you build your uplines group, you build your downlines group, you'll get caught up in between. See, it's not all about me, my group. It's about how can I talk good about them? How can I talk good about, and here's a tip, husbands, how can I talk good about my wife? Wives, how can I talk good about my husbands? Well, he's not showing the plan. Well, what is he doing? I remember Larry telling a story about how he would, when Pam was asleep after he would get home, and Pam, she was still working on her self-image and things, and he would say, while she's sleeping, he'd say things like, Pam, I'm so proud of you for, doing those essay ones. That's when all she was doing was the essay ones. She wasn't really all that involved at the time. You know what he'd do? He would talk good to her about the things she was doing, so it made her want to do more things because she liked having him talk good to her. Even when she was asleep, he was programming her that she was a worthy person, that she could do more things. And was that it?
It sounds so flowery. He was programming her while she was asleep that she was a worthy person and that she could do more things. Oh my God. It's funny because it's like the words are so beautiful. You're capable, you can do more things, you are worthy, but it's so creepy that he's like whispering this in her ear as she's sleeping. And I love that he uses the word programming, because that is literally what they do with this positive affirmation, is that they know that they are programming you. They know that they are brainwashing you. They know that they are even subliminally, on a subliminal level, they are putting these things into your head. That's why with the LTD audios, they want you to go to sleep every night listening to an audio so you fall asleep and your subconscious absorbs what your conscious thoughts can't absorb yet. And they're doing this through the LTD audios. This brainwashing and programming is so real. It's so real, and he actually verbalized, he put those words to it, that he would program his wife while she was asleep. Good words, you're worthy, you're capable of doing more things, but programming nonetheless. and they know exactly why they want to program their downline, and it is because they want their downline to grow the business. All right, so that was the audio. Don't freak out. I put some lashes on that I'm going to be using for Halloween, and I just wanted to see what they look like, just so that I get a feel for what I'm going to do my look as. Off camera, I just had a pretty traumatic experience with my lower lash line that we're not going to talk about, but it's going to be a cool look. This is very rare form, I guess. And I just spent this whole audio putting on eyeshadow and eyebrows and everything, and these lashes cover everything. I may as well just have put these eyelashes on and I would look exactly the same. Anyway, wow, tangent. This is me on a Saturday, by the way, just filming it and putting on lashes that should not belong to anyone human. I look so funny right now. All right, just don't look at me, okay? I'm just going to finish the video like this. No, anyway. I just wanted to play this audio, and also I understand that my reaction is more my interpretation than most of my videos. So, I guess it's because this comment really stuck. I don't normally pay attention to like hate comments. Someone recently called me a fat ugly heifer the other day, and I was like, well, dang, someone's salty. But in terms of arguments where like you are actually trying to argue my point, but you're just doing, or you're trying to like disagree with my point and you're just doing a really terrible job debating it. Someone had recently commented saying that, I just take everything out of context, or that I'm twisting everything that they say. And I really genuinely don't try to twist everything that they say, because I think if you just look at the income disclosure statements of Amway, you'll see for yourself that it's a very lopsided business where most of the people do lose money. If you do listen to the audios themselves in full, you will hear that they just say to buy your own products. They will say the different toxic cult-like culture of the business. I mean, if you just listen to the audio and you were to just blank out everything that I say, you would still hear the same things that I'm saying straight from their mouths. So I don't think that I twist what they say to fit my agenda, especially because, you know, I'm just under 500 subscribers right now. I don't really have a financial agenda. Like, I'm not making money off of these videos. I've been making these videos for a year, and I don't have an agenda to get back at the people that were my upline, because I have stuff on them personally that I could out to everyone that I haven't, because that's not my agenda. My agenda is to warn people and to do a deep dive of the culture and the teaching materials so that we can see how that manipulation took place, because a lot of people do lose thousands of dollars, relationships, and basically their entire identities to this business until they wise up and realize, wow, I'm never going to make money in this, am I? And then they quit and then have to rebuild their lives. And I'm making like these particular videos outside of like sustainable health and meaningful success, like the other videos that I do on Sundays. These videos are for the people who have come from the exact place that I was in, Amway LTD, who are rebuilding their lives and healing themselves, healing their spiritual lives, healing their hearts and their relationships, and finding their calling again, finding, you know, new come-ups, new business opportunities that are actually going to produce something for them, and finding what they're passionate about rather than getting duped by another, you know, pyramid scheme or another scam. And the emotions that they were originally preyed off of, like the vulnerability that they originally were preyed on, you know, when they leave that business, they still have to then deal with that and more. They have to deal with the emotions of leaving Amway and have to deal with the withdrawal of the community and of the friendships because of its cult-like nature. You're not allowed to stay in contact with people outside of the business. This is specifically within my group. You know, it might be different for your group, but for mine, you know, I had people that I would consider best friends that I wasn't allowed to exchange phone numbers with them because they were cross-line, and I didn't want to inappropriately cross-line with them, and we weren't allowed to inappropriately cross-line with them. So the amount of rebuilding of your life, your social life, your self-esteem, your spiritual, like your faith, your finances, my gosh, it's just, yeah, we're all healing. And so the audios that I've reacted to in the past are pretty blatant. I mean, I don't have to stretch anything to say what they're saying. I mean, I just pause it and reiterate it and show you how that actually translates in the real life and how that plays out in business. This audio, I think, is very difficult to react to because it's not like they straight up say stuff, or they're saying things straight up. They will say, you know, that we're programming, or we are, you know, getting them to do more of what we want them to do by affirming them. I mean, they are saying those words specifically, but they're saying it in such a way that it sounds like they're doing a good thing by building other people up. They're doing a good thing by finding the good in other people and finding the good in themselves, and that, you know, there's more positivity and light. But there's so much more that is happening to the audience psychologically while listening to this that you don't realize is happening. You don't realize that there's an us versus them narrative that they're creating by saying that out in the world, out in society, all you'll hear is negative. All you'll hear is criticism. But here, all you'll hear is positive, and be empowered, and, you know, be programmed in your mind to know that you are worthy. Well, that's very dangerous because it's very isolating inside the group to feel like this is the only place that you're safe. And it's very negative to find out, or it's very damaging to find out that the good things that your upline were saying about you, the positive experiences that you had about being, you know, praised in front of people for good things that you were doing, and being, you know, called out for the things that you're doing well and acknowledged and appreciated, and all of those positive emotions were simply for the agenda of growing a big business and keeping you in business longer. I mean, he said it himself that you don't want to do the work over and over and over again to recruit people, and have them quitting on you. So you want to keep them in by establishing that rapport, by establishing that positive, you know, affirmations, by establishing that dependency on your positivity, on your affirmation. They are now more dependent on you, and it creates a very toxic relationship. And if you know, want to edify someone, or if you want to de-edify someone, or if you want to, it's what they refer to as in edification. If you're in edification with your upline, if you are being praised by your upline, that means you're doing something right. But if you're out of edification, if you're, you know, not being praised, if you're not being invited to the night owls, which are exclusive events, there is a culture of like, oh, they're not being edified by their upline. Oh, they're not being invited to the night owls. I mean, it's so damaging and so toxic, to have your entire self-worth now, instead of being built on what you believe about yourself, but your self-worth is now being dependent on what your upline says about you in front of other people. It's just really tough and really toxic, and it's a lot to heal from when you actually finally leave Amway. And it's just really manipulative and damaging, the fact that they know that that's how they keep people in. They keep people in by building them up and preying on their vulnerability. And they know that for a fact. It's what they say themselves. It just sucks. It's just really heartbreaking. And I feel ridiculous saying all this with these eyelashes on, but it had to be done. Anyway, I love you so much, and you are worthy and capable of doing amazing things, and I'm not saying that with an agenda. I just truly think that everyone is capable of making the life that they want, and if you really want it, then go for it. As long as it doesn't hurt other people or scam other people, then you do you, boo-boo. Like, you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to and anything that you're willing to work really hard toward. Just be kind to other people, spread love, joy, and peace, and be a good human. Be a good freaking human, okay? Tune in on Sunday. Tune in Sunday for more health content and Wednesdays for more Anti-MLM. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm doing this for you. I don't know. If you haven't subscribed yet, just, consider it. We always love more people in the squad. And I'm not going to affirm you just so that you stay. But my subscribers are better. My subscribers are better than all the other subscribers in the world. You're amazing, and because I've found the good in myself, I can find the good in you. Okay, bye.